Hello, beautiful friends. This is the Organizer Advisor, here to help you enhance your happiness and transform your life. Okay, today we are continuing our journey on helping get our children get organized and prepared for back to school. So, today's topic is going to be their athletic wear, sports gear, athletic shoes, duffel bags, sport equipment bags, whatever your child has. So we're going to unpack this a little bit, but first, go get your hydration beverage so we can spend a motivational moment together as we talk about organizing your child's athletic items. Okay, so a couple of things you're going to need. I like my Listerine spray, of course, for everything. And then I also like to use my essential oil spray. So go ahead and gather, and like we always do in our process of getting organized in thematic organizing, which is really just organizing by categories. Grab a bin, basket, or box and kind of go through your space, your children's space, and gather up all the athletic items. Now, you may need a big laundry basket and you may need a couple. This is a fun game for kids, so you can just basically tell your kids, hey, let's go gather all of our stuff and have a race. Kids love that, so turn it into a game if you can. But you want to gather all of their sporting equipment. Go ahead and gather their PE bags, duffel bags, athletic shoes. They can be a little stinky, so we're going to take care of that. But also any kind of jerseys or sporting items. And I also like to get a little toiletry bag for the young ladies. And then for the young men, you're going to want to have something like a zip top bag or a men's toiletry bag for their toiletries, which is deodorant is a must, but also shampoo so that they can shower at the gym if they need to. So just go ahead and gather. Now, I just gathered a few of my grandson's items, and I'm just going to focus on the footballs. And so I have them in this bin, and the nice thing about the bin is if I need to kind of wash them or hose them off to get dirt, sand, grass, anything off, I can just hose them off and then they can air dry in this little bin. I got this bin at Aldi's. It was like $4, almost $5, but they stack nicely. It's great to have one for every member of the house to do Tidy Friday pickups, but also it's great for keeping balls and sporting equipment in. So anyway, they're lightweight, they've got a nice handle on them, and they're easy to use. So you can, do whatever you practice as far as keeping the equipment clean. If it's something that you have small children, you might want to sterilize them just to keep the germ transference down. You can always use your Listerine spray, just spray them down. You can wash them in the shower. That's why I like this bin. You can put them in the shower, just turn the shower head on hot, leave them in there for a couple of minutes, and that's going to do a lot to sterilize and get all the dirt and grime off. I'm a clean fanatic. I like things to feel clean when I touch them, especially when it relates to my children, because especially small children, they constantly are putting their hands in their mouths or items in their mouths. So germ transference is a significant problem when you have small children. So if you have like soccer balls, tennis rackets, lacrosse, shoulder pads for football, ballet items, dance items, we want to gather all of those. So number one, we can see what we have. And then number two, we can determine whether they still fit, if they're usable, are they in good condition. If not, we know what we need to replace before the next season. So go ahead and grab all of those items and take a few moments to kind of just go through them. The first step is to gather. The second is to kind of go through. Now you can go through and determine whether or not they're still in good shape, whether or not they're punctured. Like if this doesn't hold air, it's not going to be much fun. Whether or not they still use them. Like my grandson doesn't really use this very much, but if it's something that you want to donate or pass on to a younger child, then now is the time to kind of go through them. Now, once we've gone through them, we can also categorize them. So let's say you have children in multiple sports. So you may want to have all the tennis things together in one duffel bag. You may want to have all the football items in another duffel bag or satchel or backpack or tote, whatever you use. You may want to have all the dance items in a specific location so that when that child needs those items, they can go directly to them and there isn't that frustration of not being able to find something. Having it pre-packed in a duffel bag or backpack really reduces stress, particularly if you're in a hurry to get to the ballpark or your child has forgotten their practice items and needs you to deliver them to school. They're already packed and ready to go. Now, this is a process that you can go through on Fridays. When your child gets home from school on Fridays, that is a great time to have them sit down, have a snack, and go through that backpack. Make sure there's no like little projects that they've forgotten to tell you about that are due that next week. And then also any notes from school, any return papers would go in the at-home binder. And I always like to prepare my children for the upcoming week. Lunch money in the lunch account. No food left over in the backpack over the weekend so it gets moldy and stinky and you can't get that smell out. But also make sure they have the school supplies they need for the next week. Now, we'll talk about that when we focus on our backpacks. But I wanted to review it because we're going to do the same thing with the school-based or organization-based athletics. So if you have a child that participates in school, after school, or during school, you want to make sure that when you go through that backpack, go ahead and go through the duffel bag or the sports bag or whatever they call it. So what I like to do is just empty it all out. And this is something you want to work on with your child so they learn these skills. And then, of course, with the athletic shoes and socks and smelly gym items in there, I always like to add a little bit of essential oil so that it's a nice fragrance. And then if you want to make sure that they have deodorant, shampoo, lotion if they need it, anything that they might need. Now, this is a little girly cosmetic bag, but you can use a cosmetic bag for young men. You can actually use a zip top bag too so that nothing spills. If your child has braces or orthodontic work, you might want to put a toothbrush and some toothpaste in there, travel size, so that they can brush after their lunch. But we just pop that in there. Now, if they need to have their jersey, make sure it's washed and clean. Make sure that you pack socks, any kind of shorts or leggings or their t-shirts or tank tops or things that they need under their uniform. Young ladies might need to have a bra and extra set of panties. So anything that they need, they may need some personal hygiene items. So just make sure that you have everything packed in there. Go through this with your child and say, okay, what do you need? Because some items they may not need that following week. But then you might want to go ahead and zip this up and put it with the backpack so everything's ready to go. Another thing you can throw in there is a water container for water if they need that at school. Okay, so you want to go through their athletic equipment. So make sure it's in good working order. Go ahead and give it a good clean. Make sure they have everything they need. If your child plays a sports that requires a mouth guard, you want to make sure that that's sanitized with your Listerine spray and that that's ready to go, that they have an extra as a backup. But just kind of look at all the equipment, get it organized, categorized, and ready for them to take when they need it. Another thing about athletic shoes, these can get pretty stinky. I wash them in the washer in warm water, and then I like to put them on a little bit of a tray, pick a sunny day and put them outside. That sun is going to disinfect the smell. So it's going to deodorize and disinfect a lot of the athletic shoes. I like to just toss them into the washer, check the shoelaces and make sure they don't need new shoelaces, because that's frustrating when your child's going to play and the shoelaces aren't staying tied or they're too short. That can actually disrupt and be a safety hazard. So check the shoelaces, make sure they're in good working order, and just jot down if you need to replace them. It's always a good idea to have a couple of extra pairs of shoelaces set aside in the case that your child's shoelaces break right before a game, because that's when it's going to happen. So just wash them. You can throw them into the washer and then put them out in the sun to dry. You're really going to be pleased with the way they smell after that. Okay? So that's about all I can think of as far as sports paraphernalia and packing a backpack. They may need a towel, some other items. Just kind of talk with your child. Maybe they need a protein bar in their backpack for after school. Maybe they eat lunch early in the day and in the afternoon they're famished. So just have a conversation with your child and you'll know how to set up that athletic tote or duffel bag or athletic bag so that they are prepared and that they get into the habit of being prepared. So being proactive to be prepared so that it reduces the stress and frustration, things don't get lost as easily, and they're ready to engage in their sport in a real positive manner. Okay, that's what I have for you today. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow. Leave a comment. I love reading your comments. And if you find this content helpful or supportive to you in any way, if you would interact in some way so that it tickles the algorithms to get these messages out to other people who could benefit from them, I would be most grateful. And until the next time, this is the Organizer Advisor wishing you health, happiness, and harmony, and I'll see you next time.